Today on Tick Ridge Outdoors, I'm going to show y'all my new buck boiler. He didn't like it too much, but I think you will. All right, so this is my buck boiler. Pretty freaking awesome. I love this thing. It's pretty cool. Haven't used it yet, but I hooked it up and it makes water warm, so that's all I really care about. So you've got a big tote. I wanted a tote big enough I could do multiple buck heads in. So I don't commercially do them. I don't do them for anybody. It's just like, you know, my father-in-law and my buddies, if they ask me, I always do them. And my wife's uncle, he always, I think for the last 4 years, I have done something for him. And normally it's multiple a year. So I can fit at least 4 buck heads in there, maybe 5. Depends how big they are. But I think for sure I can get 4 or 5 deer heads in there. I could even drop a doe head in there, just fire up. So Dolly is really impressed with this. So I took a heating element out of a hot water heater. Let me tilt that so you can see in it. It's just a heating element out of a hot water heater, and you just drill a hole in the side of this thing with a hole saw. I actually just put this ring where I wanted it, took a Sharpie, circled it on the inside, took an X-Acto knife and just cut a bunch of slits in it and then went around it. Came right out. This plastic's cheap, but it will withstand the heat. I did run this thing outside, and it was about 10 degrees outside, but it was steaming. The water was so hot I could stick my hand in it, but it wasn't too hot for me to stick my hand in. Right up close to this, it was too hot for me to hold my hand there, but over in the corner down at the bottom, I could just barely hold my hand in it. So I think that's perfect. I mean, for me it is. I don't hit my Euro mounts with a power washer. I don't do anything like that. I just cook them, basically. I'm just cooking the meat off of the bone. When I'm done, I can pick the head up and just shake it, and all the meat falls off, and I take a garden hose and I blow all the brains out. So this metal piece here is what makes the whole thing happen, and it is actually just a conduit fitting. They're like $4 at Lowe's. I saw how to make one of these online, actually on YouTube, and I thought, man, that's the part that I'm gonna have a hard time finding. I went to Lowe's, walked in, 2 minutes later, I found it, got it. Came home, cut off the end of an extension cord. I had these connectors. I just threw those on there. It's probably not right, but hey, it's what I got and it's cheap. So I have nothing in the extension cord. I have nothing in those little connectors. $4 in that. This was the most expensive, and I think it was like maybe 20 bucks. The heating element was $14. So I mean, really, if you buy a buckhead boiler, and it's just a buck boiler, I think is what it's called, or bucket boiler or something like that. They're like $100, and you can only use them like 3 times. I can use this thing as much as I want, as long as that doesn't come out of the water. It should be fine. It shouldn't burn up. So I'm pretty excited with it. Like I said, I haven't used it yet. It does heat water. I've heated water with it, but that's about as far as I've went. I do, though, I have 2 wild boar heads, and so I'm going to do those probably next week. We'll see. I don't know if it'll happen next week, but I'm going to try. So I might only be able to do one of those in here because they're pretty good sized boar heads from Texas. So I'm going to put those in here. I'll do a full video on that, and I'd like to do a time lapse just to show the process of how they cook. You know, basically that's all you're doing is cooking all the meat off. So I'm glad it has a lid, though. I can throw a lid on here and keep that water in here longer. I will just have to keep checking it and make sure the water doesn't get below that heating element. So yeah, I think this thing's pretty freaking cool. I'll do a video of me using it. If you want any specifics on what I bought, I can go on the Lowe's app and send you screenshots of what I bought. Really, I got $30 in this whole thing, and it's going to last me a lot of years. So, got any questions or anything, or just want some clarity on what I used or how I did it, let me know, and I'll get you taken care of. So, thanks for watching Tick Ridge Outdoors. Tune in next week when we boil 2 wild boar heads.